I'm a sculptor who eats well. I am a business owner. I am a part-time farmer and a full-time advocate for keeping a planet to pass on. But really, I'm a sculptor that required this food. Something changed in me and I needed this food to survive. So I knew it was hard to get, so I made it easier for other people.
Jason had a period of time where he realized that he had some digestive issues and really had to look at the food he was eating, specifically wheat. And so at that time I was doing a lot of the grocery shopping, and I was turning over all the packages on the back of everything that I ate, that I was buying, that he was eating, trying to figure out what the ingredients are, and really realizing that I don't know most of the ingredients in the food that I eat.
So with my insurance, I thoroughly researched it. We gave Western medicine 5 years of tests to try to figure out what the problem was, and putting cameras in places you wouldn't think they would go, to no avail. One of the anesthesiologists casually mentions to me as I'm coming out from being under that I might try changing my diet or giving up wheat. So I did. I gave up wheat, and I met with immediate health benefits, but I still wasn't fixed. It still wasn't means to an end. I then started cutting out all processed foods and went completely organic and local, and within 3 days, completely changed my health. I woke up actually upset at my friends that they felt this good every day, and I was at such a deficit.
I began volunteering with a woman who had developed this relationship with the local farm, and she was bringing the food over into St. Joseph and selling it out of a little bed and breakfast. And people would come. It was kind of like a mini farmer's market, and they could shop from whatever she had on the table, or she would make them pre-order boxes.
So my wife at the time knew that I was having dietary issues, and she wanted to get out on the farm and get into nature more, get out of the city. So she went up to the farmer's market and started talking to this lady and telling her about my conditions, and just volunteering, helping her out at the farmer's market.
And I worked with her for a summer doing this, and then she decided to move out of state, and she said, here's what I've been working on, you take it over. So I said, okay, I don't want to lose my connection to all this great food, and it seems like something people appreciate. So we did this every Thursday for about a year. We would go over to Wathena, to Good Acres Farm, where Farmer John Good had beautiful stuff growing, and we would collect food each morning from him and harvest things off the farm, and we bring them over here to St. Joseph.
Was very lucky to find Farmer John Good, who was having a farmer's market just a block away from my sculpture studio, and has also always been one of the main veterans, if you will, down at the River Market in Kansas City.
January of 1986, I purchased this beautiful piece of property. I fell in love with the beautiful view and just the location and just the opportunity of having a vision of someday being sustainable and self-sufficient. Proper nutrition was the big key too, and that double affirmation when I had a little challenge with my health. I was inspired to start eating a lot more proper, nutritious food, organic food, no pesticides, no GMOs. Put the leaves on top of it, saute it. It caramelizes it. It's really, really delicious. It smells so good.
You hear John Good talk about a squash, and you would sell off family heirlooms to buy this squash. It is everything you need, and it's just because he's put so much into it. His heart is in every one of these things.
Part of the way that we developed the business was through a pre-ordered box system. So you may be familiar with something called the CSA, it's Community Supported Agriculture, and the traditional model is that you would invest a number of hundreds of dollars upfront at the beginning of a season to one given farm, and so that's not necessarily a great model for the average person. So part of what we do is we have pre-ordered boxes that you can buy starting at $20 and going up in $5 increments. And what that does is that gauge of dollar value allows you to gauge how much quantity goes into a given box. So you can raise up that dollar value by $5 and you get more food. This works out really well if you're a two-family household. You can get a $20 box, but if you're just vegetarians, maybe you need a $30 box. That's a really good thing so that you're not getting more food than you can eat. People picking up boxes can be a really fun thing. I've had people say that it's kind of like vegetable Christmas.
But most people are super excited. A lot of people take pictures of their box and post it on Facebook to show other people what's in there. And that's how we've gotten a lot of business. We're kind of phasing out of the winter stuff finally, which was a lot of squash, beets, turnips,
sweet potatoes,
pumpkins, sweet potatoes,
eggs.
We do have eggs as well.
And honey and coconut.
But each week it's different, and based on the season.
Fresh picks this morning.
Hey there, John.
Hey, how are you doing, Teresa?
Good, I'm come down to see you.
Okay. Fresh picks this morning. We got rainbow chard, spinach. One of the favorites, fan favorites there.
And it really got to, we had so many customers, people couldn't make it through our crowd to get into the bed and breakfast. So we started looking for a retail space. And I really wanted to be downtown. I love the architecture, I love the history, I love the energy of a downtown. Downtowns are always where the weirdnesses are, it's where the fringe happens, the edge. So I've always felt like a downtown denizen.
So it just feels like a natural fit. And then there's just sort of the feel of the space. It's got beautiful hardwood floors, and it's got a tin ceiling, and it's very open, and there's a lot of light, and it's got beautiful southern windows, so we're able to grow plants there. And you just sort of begin to feel like you could really make this into the right kind of greengrocer shop that we envisioned.
And then there's been young energy here with Amy and Brian over at Lucky Tiger and what they've done with the First Saturdays and just reinvesting people to a community of foot traffic.
Jason and Farmer John Goode have now also opened up a Saturday farmers market that they've instigated and been a huge part of, and that is really about having a holistic market here in downtown, which is sort of the heart of our city. So we also hope that that's going to be a really great contribution to the community economically and culturally.
I didn't have anything going on. I volunteered to come in once a week on Thursdays. So I've been doing that largely as a learning experience for myself, but also, it benefits Jason. And because of that, I kind of got pulled into John's plans for the market downtown.
We're going through growing pains, you always do when you get in a bigger location, but on the other hand, we're quite welcomed in the St. Joseph area, and there's a certain group of people that are food enthusiasts, and they want to change their pattern of eating, and so they're seeking this type of local food, and it makes sense buying local and eating properly.
I remember in Italy, like the tomatoes, I'd never tasted a tomato like that here. Unless I go way back to my childhood when my grandpa always had a garden, and I had this vague memory of what good food tasted like then. And then we went to Italy, and it really did change. And when we came back, we were changed and decided that we were gonna. The only way we could have that is if we grew it ourselves or became acquainted with people who did.
I come from a very traditional American food background, and I didn't realize what my relationship to food was, or that I even had a relationship to food, which we all do. We're just not all conscious of this. We, as American culture, tend to eat food for entertainment. We do it out of boredom. We do it for stimulus. We do it for fun. We rarely do it for health or nutrition, which, when you say it aloud, seems sort of obvious, but if you stop and think about what that means and how that dictates the food choices we make in our lives, it's actually quite profound.
You are what you eat, and I feel that, you know, we get trapped. It's easy to just go in the system, and, you know, this is life, and you have this hunger in you, and you say, oh, I gotta feed this hole in my belly or whatever, my hole in my soul, and you know, it's not only a physical thing, it's a spiritual movement.
Really started out as just what I ate, and it has become a pivotal part of my life. You know, the people I've gotten to know because of it. Both the growers and the customers are teaching me so much, and it's they're very welcoming, and I don't know, it's very comfortable group of people to get to know.
Way up on the mountain, I go to ease my mind. They pick their peaches freestone and never rush for time. They don't make too much money, but what they grow, they eat.